Hey, this is Dr. Scott Haggerty. I wanted to welcome everybody to the presentation, The Power of Self-Healing. This is a presentation I had done some time ago here in our practice, and I wanted to bring this to you because I think it's a great presentation. But more importantly, a lot of what it really does is it teaches you that you have more power than what you think to be able to improve the quality of your health. And Dr. Fabrizio Mancini, who is just a fantastic doctor, wrote this wonderful patient's book called The Power of Self-Healing, and you can find it on Amazon. And take a look at it, download it, and read it. But this is going to be just a relatively brief overview of the presentation that I did, which I think will give you lots of insight into what the power of self-healing really can offer to you. There's so much emphasis these days on treating from the outside in, but really and truly, the best doctor is inside you. And it's important that we look at health as an inside-out thing, not an outside-in. Outside-in interventions are not the way the body was designed. The body was designed to heal from the inside out. When God made our bodies, He created us with what's called an innate healing ability. It means that God gave our brains all of the information necessary to keep us healthy from the moment that we were born until the moment that we die. It's important that we take this back because as our population has gotten progressively sicker, we look more for external things. We look more for a pill, a surgery, a medicine, an outside intervention. When the fact of the matter is that when we have to look inside first, we have to look at how we can heal ourselves. The stronger that we become on our understanding of the body's innate healing abilities, the healthier that we as a population can become. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see some of the slides that we created from the presentation, and then we'll go into depth on some, but I'm going to leave this up here, and I would encourage all of you to take a look at the book, download it, read it, whatever, because it's just a great book with a lot of great self-healing tips that you can take advantage of literally as quickly as today. So I'm going to go and pull my screen up here, and I will go through and we will get the power of self-healing up in front of you so you can take a look at it here, okay? So here's the book, The Power of Self-Healing. Dr. Mancini wrote this book, I believe, about a year and a half ago. Dr. Schweitzer, Albert Schweitzer, I'm sure everyone's heard that name before. He was a Nobel Prize winner, wrote, "Each patient carries his own doctor inside him. They come to us not knowing that truth, but we are at our best when we give the doctor who resides within each patient a chance to work." So the problem that we are definitely running into these days is that we have a sick care medical system, not a healthcare system, because proactivity has really been taken away. There's some great facts here. I'm just going to go and give you a couple of these, but here's one big one. For the first time in 2 centuries, the current generation of Americans, our children, may have a shorter life expectancy than us. That's scary. Here's another one. We spend right now $2.4 trillion per year on sick care. That is $6,500 for every man, woman, and child in this country. This leads to 50% of all healthcare bankruptcies in the United States. $1 of every 6 in this country goes towards healthcare. And despite this massive investment, the U.S. is 37th in healthcare system performance. And this is a WHO stat. They're the ones who record this data. So one of the biggest reasons that we are having so much difficulty with maintaining health is because there is a massive amount of stress in our lives. Dr. Hans Selye wrote this book, Stress Without Distress, talked to us about this thing called the general adaptation syndrome. So it has 3 basic stages: the alarm stage, the resistance stage, and the exhaustion stage. Understanding this process will help us to have a better understanding of what our body's going through when we're in stress. The alarm stage is the reaction stage, right? It's when our body's releasing chemicals and hormones that are helping us to try and adapt, but this is not supposed to be a permanent stage for us. The body will put out adrenaline, it'll increase our heart rate. This is fight or flight. Our body is really only supposed to be in this when we have emergencies, not supposed to stay here. But the problem is that most of us now are living a lifestyle where we are stuck in stress. When we stay here too long, it changes the way that our nervous system works and the way that our immune system works. This resistance stage will mean that our stress hormone levels stay elevated. Our nervous system stays elevated. We are constantly in a position of stress so that the body is in fight or flight all the time. It will try to adapt and try to adapt and try to adapt, but eventually what happens is the body will go through this stage and move into the final stage, which is called the exhaustion stage. At this point, our body is what we call burned out. It's on overload. We have adrenal fatigue, we have dysfunction, we have dysautonomia, which is a dysfunction or imbalance in our autonomic nervous system where our stress system is dominating. And I do mean dominating all of the health processes of our life, and the body is not meant to be driven by our stress cycle. The sympathetic nervous system is only supposed to be on during periods of fight or flight. Our parasympathetic nervous system is what regulates immune function, digestion. All of our general health maintenance processes are supposed to be run from the parasympathetic or rest and digest side of our nervous system. This stress cycle causes this balance to change. Chronic stress damages every cell tissue in the body. It changes the nerve cells, it changes the tissues, changes the organs. It affects blood pressure, heart disease, increases rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, everything. So the good thing is like I had mentioned before, the body heals from within. So let's take a look at some of those healing aspects and some aspects that you can take advantage of today. With physical self-healing, we need to look at self-healing foods. Self-healing foods listed here are things like fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, drinking lots of water, moderate alcohol consumption. Digging into some of the best foods out there, things like apples, broccoli, flax seeds, garlic, which is an amazing anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, salmon, sweet potatoes, you name it. Fermented foods. I mean, there's a lot of great things out there that we can use to go and really boost the anti-inflammatory or immune healing side of our nutrition. So here's some studies that were put out there, which I think are quite helpful. The World Cancer Research Fund put out one that said eating a diet of processed foods is proven to raise cancer risk in women. Great one here from Reuters says just one extra serving of fruits or vegetables a day may reduce the risk of developing cancer. Really neat stuff. So inflammatory foods are the anti-healers. And so looking at some of these, you have to understand that things like increasing sugar, okay? It feeds cancer cells, it leads to high blood pressure, promotes heart disease, diabetes, depression. It messes with every aspect of your health. Here's some of the places where it's found. Additives, big time inflammers. Many of them are linked to cancer and other health disorders. They're found in things like artificial sweeteners, colors, preservatives, artificial flavors such as nitrates and nitrites, which are known to be carcinogens, and trans fatty acids, which just destroy the cardiovascular system. Many food allergens, such as your wheats, so your gluten and gliadin containing foods. Milk can be extremely inflammatory. Certain types of eggs, nuts, corn, soy, yeast, some types of chocolate, and some food additives. Food intolerances are occurring right now in like 70% of the people. 4 of the common intolerances are gluten, lactose, fructose, and histamine. Histamine is lesser known, but it's oftentimes triggered by pizza, beer, red wine, fish, and many types of cheeses and nuts. When you look at self-healing supplements, we look at things that are really geared towards filling in the gaps and helping our body to get the immune system function back up again. They have a million different benefits, such as suppressing various forms of cancer and preventing their return, reducing free radical damage. Antioxidants have just numerous benefits. So vitamin D3, besides the fact that we know about it for its effect on bone loss and increasing bone density, it decreases the risk for colds, flus, heart disease, colon cancer, diabetes, depression, blood pressure, high blood pressure issues, arthritis, immune problems, you name it. And 60% of all adults in this country are deficient. You need a bare minimum of 1,000 IUs per day, but really an optimal level for most of us is 5,000 IUs per day. If you are darker skinned, you need an even higher concentration because your body has a more difficult time absorbing it and producing it from sunlight. So if you're African American, if you're Hispanic, if you're Indian, really focus on trying to get the 5,000 IUs per day. Plant extracts are well-absorbed phytonutrients. They're disease fighters in plant foods. They can positively affect your blood pressure. Omega-3s, big time in helping the function of the immune system, very potent in helping the nervous system to function well. They decrease inflammation in the arteries. They lower your triglycerides, tons of benefits. So gamma-linolenic acid is a major anti-inflammatory, decreases chronic inflammation, helps with skin problems, asthma, RA, prevents narrowing of the arteries, helps with decreasing diabetes effects, helps with improving risk factors of obesity, cancer, and blood clots. Curcumin, boy, I could do an entire PowerPoint on this one. Curcumin is one that has so many benefits, I could spend all day here, but decreasing pain, anti-inflammatory throughout the system, decreases congestion if you have respiratory problems and things like asthma. Digestive diseases respond favorably to it, things like ulcers, irritable bowel, inflammatory bowel disease, pancreatitis. protects the health of the brain, decreases the growth rate or inhibits the growth rate of many types of cancer cells. So mushroom extracts, these things are great. They increase the strength of the immune system, increase the activity of the macrophages. Macrophages are awesome because what they do is they will go in and they're like Pac-Man. They go through the body, and as soon as they find a microorganism, a virus or bacteria, they just chomp them up. Whey protein, one of the big things with whey protein is that it's a pretty potent immune booster. It enhances glutathione. Glutathione is your most important antioxidant. You really need this because if your body does not have glutathione, your immune system is really, really suppressed. Alpha-linoleic acid, big one here. It directs calories from fats and sugars into energy production. L-glutamine is the most abundant amino in the body. It reduces sugar cravings. If you train heavily, you really need this because it helps to allow your body to recover more efficiently from exercise. And so L-theanine, which is found in green tea, helps with relaxation. GABA, dopamine, and serotonin, these are big ones because especially if you're a pain sufferer, there is a constant battle between what's called substance P, which is an irritant that causes noxious stimuli to the nerves, which will lead eventually to dysfunction in nerves or pain. It always is supposed to be in balance with GABA. When there's proper motion in joints and tissues like the spinal vertebra, GABA is then supposed to reach the brain in greater quantities than substance P. When vertebrae stop moving, when joints stop moving, this balance changes. Substance P increases and it causes noxious stimuli or irritation, which raises up the effects on the sympathetic nervous system, which will increase the effects on the brainstem areas, which are your sleep-wake centers, cardiorespiratory centers, suppresses immune function, causes all kinds of other issues. So increasing the amount of L-theanine will also help with GABA production. Digestive repair, probiotics are huge for this. I could, again, do a whole webinar just on probiotics. Think immune function, think digestion. Huge benefits for probiotics, and we're really just scratching the surface. There's a company that I work with quite a bit called Pure Encapsulations, and they're putting out lots of great research that's being done through this project called the Human Microbiome. They are basically decoding our gut bacteria to find out what each one of them do. Huge benefits, and more being uncovered as the research is progressing. Digestive repair, digestive enzymes help us to better digest our foods, assimilate the foods more efficiently. They will allow our bodies to more effectively get nutrients into our system, which is really important. Bromelain, which is a great anti-inflammatory, it accelerates the healing of injuries, heals inflammation, thins mucus. Papain is very similar in its function to bromelain. Both of those two, if you ever have a respiratory issue, boy, both of those two put together, taken 30 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after, help to really thin the mucus out so you can breathe more clearly. Pancreatin really helps a lot with treating lactose intolerance, and lipase is an enzyme that breaks down fats. So I'm going to skip forward on some of these because some of these are more commonly known. CoQ10, if you or anyone that you love is taking a statin drug, boy, you got to be on this. This really helps to go and offset the effect of statins. If you're not, if your energy levels are low, boy, coenzyme Q10 is amazing. Take this stuff every day, and it's like getting a shot of energy every morning. This way here, you won't need so much caffeine. And then brain support, these are all great. Magnesium, zinc, omega-3s, and choline all help to go and ramp up the function of the memory and the attention span. Just wonderful supplements. And then here's some other ones: GPC, venapectin, acetyl L-carnitine, and ginkgo. A lot of these are getting a lot of great press. Take a look at these on your own. I'll also provide some links below the video here so you can take a look and see some more information about these yourself. Exercise, boy, this is a huge one. Everyone knows about the heart improving effects of doing exercise and cardiovascular disease, but the hormonal changes that come with your body doing regular exercise, because it decreases anxiety, depression, lowers the function of the sympathetic nerve fight or flight nervous system, it strengthens your immune system, increases bone density, improves balance. It's just amazing. There are several things that benefit your body from doing regular exercise. One of the big ones is it activates key neurotransmitters that elevate your mood, including serotonin and norepinephrine. The very same chemical is used in most antidepressant medications. So just 2.5 hours or 150 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise a week will provide substantial health benefits, according to the the 2009 guidelines published by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So slows cognitive decline in aging. So sleep is a huge one. For those of you that are not getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep per night, really work on this. Your immune system only replenishes itself when you're sleeping. It also helps with weight loss and lifts your mood because it increases your serotonin levels. Active healing is huge. Thinking about active healing is really taking ownership of getting your body better. So when you start looking at strength training, this is a huge one. Exercising a few days a week fights heart disease, diabetes, body composition problems, arthritis, back pain, depression, fatigue. Tai Chi and yoga are wonderful for this because all you really need is your body. They also really help with proprioception and balance. Those are your body's knowledge of where you are in space. Just tremendous, tremendous, tremendous forms of exercise. So what you want to start with is think of some basic things. What's my goal? Try several different forms of exercise to find out what's right for you. Make it fun. It's so important that you enjoy exercise. And the other thing is, don't think about it having to be constructive. Just move. Go for a walk. Go for a hike. Climb. Rock climb. Get out there and do things. Use your body. The healthier that you are, the more you move, the better the body does. Always, always, always try and move as much as you possibly can. There's some alternative healing arts that have started to gain a lot of notoriety in the last few years. Chiropractic obviously is huge because it works so intimately with the function of the nervous system and boosting the ability of the body to heal and recover and adapt to stress by directly affecting the nervous system. What an adjustment does, in case you're not familiar, is relatively simple in its concept. When a chiropractor does an adjustment, they're putting motion back into a vertebra that has stopped moving. That vertebra has by losing motion, has now become a pathway that blocks information between the brain and the body's cells, tissues, and organs via the nerve root. When the chiropractor detects this area where it's lost motion, and the term that we use in chiropractic is subluxation, has 3 components: misalignment, lost motion or fixation, and interference to the nerves that are associated with that level that come out of the spinal cord. When the chiropractor puts motion back into that via the adjustment, whether they use their hands or use instruments, what happens is then it changes the way the brain now perceives the nerve roots and then all the cells, tissues, and organs at that level, temporarily in the beginning, but has a longer and longer lasting effect the more that you get your adjustments taken care of. So as you go through the process of rehabilitating with a chiropractor, they're allowing your brain to better know what is going on throughout your body by getting rid of the subluxations in the spine. Acupuncture is amazing, works in a very similar type of mindset to what chiropractic does. They use what are called meridians. If you remember social studies and earth science from when you were young, they talked about meridians that surround the earth, which are electrical meridians. Because we have our nervous systems that secrete electrical impulses, we create electrical meridians around our body. The job of an acupuncturist is to find the meridians that are not working the way they should and then stimulate them to change their function. And then, of course, you see other things like yoga, qigong, Pilates, cold laser, massage, homeopathy. All these are wonderful. I'm going to dig in a little bit further into cold laser because I happen to use this quite a bit in my own practice, and I've seen literally what I would consider to be miracles with cold laser. The concept of laser is pretty simple, right? The power that made the body heals the body. So if you allow the laser to go and do what it's supposed to do, it stimulates and increases the pace at which the body is able to heal itself. So lasers are usually infrared at varying levels of intensity and strength. We happen to use a class 4 laser, and these are very high power lasers, which you actually feel some warmth with. They increase circulation to the area. They stimulate these little parts of the cell called the mitochondria to work faster. They increase dilation of the blood vessels and the arteries so that more oxygen, more blood, more fluid gets into the area. It allows arteries that have been closed off to dilate and get fluid away. So if there are tissues where there has been an injury, it will allow swelling and edema to get out of there faster as well. Here are some of the benefits and the conditions that we treat with laser on a regular basis. The list is far longer than this, but these are some of the more common ones that we see on a regular basis. So energy healing, if you're not familiar with energy healing, don't discount it, because there are so many practitioners that practice things like acupuncture and homeopathy, Reiki, magnetic field therapy, and aromatherapy. Don't ever knock it till you try it. So some of these I've not had done, but I know a lot of people that are practitioners of it or patients of it that swear by the changes that it's made in your health. Just because it's not completely understood and completely researched at this point, guess what? Medicine wasn't that way for many years. A lot of the forms of healing that we have these days weren't researched. But we had many, many people that were practitioners that were using a lot of these remedies that were seeing benefits to the health of their patients. So everything starts clinical, and then eventually when you get enough people, they're saying, hey, dump some money into it, then research is provided. The nice thing about these is the likelihood of negatives if with magnetic field therapies, Reiki, aromatherapies, things like that, very, very little risk to those. So give them a try and see how your body responds. Everyone knows about massage. It's wonderful. It helps to go and stimulate soft tissue healing, improves pain, flexibility, the function of the lymphatic system, which is really important because the lymphatic system is your immune system's pathway through the body. It helps with getting congestion in the tissues out, allowing the immune cells to flow in and out more freely. So the chiropractic lifestyle. For those of you who are not familiar with the lifestyle that we as chiropractors lead, one of the things they interestingly say a lot of times in chiropractic school is if patients knew what we knew, they would do what we do. The reason why is that by getting adjusted, we are healthier. We have better adaptation to stress because we look first at the master controller, which is the nervous system. And so that lifestyle, by staying well adjusted, allowing the brain to communicate throughout the body more freely through the adjusting process, decreases nerve interference, decreases the effect of the sympathetic or fight or flight nervous system on the body, allowing the body to be in better balance. Patient after patient after patient who spends a significant amount of time in care sees massive health benefits over time. I myself have, my staff has, my wife has, my kids get adjusted on a regular basis. My kids get adjusted anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week based upon what they have going on. I had to adjust my kids before I came to work this morning because they both had the sniffles, because by adjusting them, and it helps to go and promote drainage, but it also boosts the function of their immune system so they heal faster. You think, therefore you heal. It's important to remember this. Your attitude really in this case determines your altitude. The better your attitude is, the more optimistic you are, the better that you heal. So it's important to always think about owning your attitude, keeping your stress levels as low as possible. An experiment married couples show that when couples relived arguments, they heal 40% slower. This was from a research study at Ohio State. Women who are hostile, hold in their anger, or feel anxious in public have thicker carotid arteries. So there is what is called a viscerosomatic reaction. Whenever we internalize a stress, it will express in other tissues, causing this negating effect on health over time, which is what Dr. Selye talks about in the general adaptation syndrome. Patients with diabetes who are also depressed had significantly higher death rates than those who had diabetes alone. So a lot of different things here that you can look at. The trust factor, this is a big one. If you believe a treatment works, then your expectations will oftentimes improve the outcome. The relationship with the healer must be based on a trust. You have to have a firm belief the healer is honest and will not cause you harm. And you must believe in your own innate ability to heal, to recruit your body's healing processes. So here's some recent studies. I'll leave this here with you for the PowerPoint, but just talked about some different things that you can do to try and self-heal. It says that women who with cancer who sculpted or sketched experienced less pain, insomnia, and overall stress during their treatments. Alzheimer's patients that were played music were able to retrieve memories, better organized thoughts, and connect to the present. This was from a study at Dartmouth College. So the healing triad comes from having forgiveness, gratitude, and love. Forgiveness is medicine in so many ways. Hanging on to anger, hanging on to loss of forgiveness can really harm us from the inside out. So start looking at having that spirit of forgiveness in your life, because hanging on to the past and hanging on to old anger only deletes our health. A healing spirit is so important. People harboring a grudge had more heart problems than those who forgave. People who cannot forgive take longer to heal from illnesses or injury. It just goes on and on and on. So we're not going to talk religion, but we are going to talk faith. There is an important aspect to life that having faith in something that is greater than ourselves allows us to have an ability to better adapt to the world around us. It says here that people of faith tend to drink less alcohol, smoke less, and not abuse drugs, because in many cases, a lot of faiths have this as primary tenets. says that conservative church-going teens were less likely to use alcohol and drugs. And this was from a national survey of 14,000 adolescents. So it says that 2 groups of heart patients were involved. Half the patients were prayed for by a Christian group, yet were unaware of the prayers on their behalf. The other half, the control group, were not prayed for. It says the first group which received prayer healed much better and required fewer medical interventions than the control group. So take the studies for what it's may, but many of us have experienced the power of prayer over the years and seen people who have benefited, in many cases, miraculously from prayer. So never discount the power of prayer just because we can't quantify it. So that is something that we should hold on to, because we see so many people that have tremendous benefits from just having a good solid faith and a higher power. So Dr. Mancini created the 21-day self-healing program, and it has this process here. It's the physical week, the emotional week, and the spiritual week. So look at week 1, which is really about eating to heal. Devise a personalized supplement regimen, formulate your healing workout plan, figure out which natural, complementary, alternative interventions might benefit you, and begin to make peace with the doctor within. Week 2, emotional self-healing, is about recognizing thought patterns, becoming more optimistic, building your trust factor, and cultivating hope. And then week 3 is about spiritual self-healing. And this is nurturing your spirit, find your purpose, ignite your creative spark, and develop a forgiving spirit. Look for blessings, hug more often, which is always a good thing for the spirit, and develop supportive, loving relationships. So if you don't have these in your life currently, look for them. Go places where you can find this. Go to social groups, go to churches, go to places where you can have that type of love and support. And begin the healing process today. So here's some more information about Dr. Mancini's book. So you can take a look through his website, drfabriziomanzini.com, or you can find the book on Amazon and just take a look at it, dig in, and just really enjoy. All right, so I hope that everybody enjoyed the presentation today. I think that it's just a really powerful presentation. I think that we need to start looking more and more at the doctrine side. If you have questions, if you want some more resources, if there's things that you'd like me to clarify, please feel free to contact me. You can leave comments on here. You can reach me at drscotthaggerty@gmail.com by email. I'm more than happy to answer questions, or talk to us on Facebook. Our Facebook page, it's Elite Health and Wellness, is my personal page, or I do have a contact page on Facebook called Ask Dr. Scott. If this information was helpful for you, please feel free to share it. Let your friends, your loved ones who may benefit from this know. Let us know what we can do. If there's other topics that you'd like us to talk about, I'm open to talk about anything related to health. Let me know what I can do for you. So our goal here, our mission is very simple. We want to improve the quality of life and the health of everyone that we can touch. So we are here for you. We are your resource. Myself, my staff, let us know how we can improve your health and improve your quality of life. All right, everybody, thank you so much. God bless you and have a wonderful day.